Hi YouTube friends, it's Victoria from Victoria Makes. I've popped on today to do a quick Easter craft and have a little chat. We've bought some Easter eggs from, I think it was Home Bargains. I had a little look in the pound shop and Home Bargains to see if we could get any fake eggs, which are probably going to be cheaper than blowing our own eggs, aren't they, these days? Because have you noticed the price of eggs? Anyway, all I managed to get this year was these. Things have sort of really sold out, there's not a lot of stock, but these are bright pink plastic eggs which actually can be opened and little toys or real chocolate can be put inside. So I thought, well, I'll get those, but I don't like the plastic sort of effect of it. So what I thought I'd do is I'd try and paint them with some chalk paint and we'll decorate them a little more to make them a bit more prettier. And then I'm going to use eggs that I had from last year and make a sort of a hanging tree design and decoration for Easter. And you'll probably notice in the background that we've got some of the Easter craft from the previous videos that I've done recently. So have a little look on my playlist and please watch those if you'd like. And there's spring and Easter wreaths, there's bunting as well. So please have a little look at that as well. So let's get on to this craft, and I hope you're all well. And thank you for watching today, and I hope you're going to do some Easter egg crafts or have a nice Easter meal somewhere and enjoy yourself, because obviously this weather's been rubbish in the UK of late, hasn't it? So we're looking forward to Easter, and obviously have a nice time and eat a bit of chocolate, etc. And treat yourself. It does you good, doesn't it? They do say that it has an ingredient that makes you happy, so that's a good excuse for me. So let's crack on with the crafts today. Right then, as I said before, I've got these very bright plasticky eggs. So for easiness, I think what I'll do is I'll just get an egg box for now, and then we can put them in as we paint them. And I'll paint them all upside down at first, and then I can turn them around and do it up the other side after when they've dried. So it'll be a two-stage affair. I've just got some paint pots left over, and I'm just literally brushing it on. Simple. Chalk paint is really good. You can just literally paint on any surface. It's really good. It's quite nice actually if, in this instance, it streaks a little bit and you can see the colour through. I've got 3 colours, so I'm just going to do 2 in each colour. And the good thing about this is it replicates the colour of duck eggs. It should look quite good when it's done. You know, I'd rather have that than the plastic. And this one's a lovely green tone. Paint them the colour match your decorations and your house. Nice cream colour. You know, if you've got cream and golds, do it cream and gold on it. Probably just put a little bit of gold leaf on the cream if you've got anything like that. Well, this is a different paint. It's not going on as easy, so we'll see how that dries. This is sort of like coming off a little bit. We shall see. If it doesn't go right, then so I'll do that one. I'll do just one of those because it looks like it's splitting a bit. So back to this one, L, which is a nice paint. Which looks like it's going to go on nicely. And this one's like a grey green. So I hope you're all alright today. You're all well. What have you been all crafting? Have you been making anything for Easter yet? Are you concentrating on a project that you're doing already, a crafting project? Maybe quilting or sewing or knitting project? Let me know in the comments below what you like to do. We generally have plenty of projects on the go, don't we? So I've still not done that patchwork that I showed you about a month or so ago with all my fabric scraps. I've still not finished that yet. That's something that's going to be going on for quite some time, I'm sure. But that's okay, because I'm not in a rush for any kind of quilt or anything. But I thought I might make a curtain with it. It'd be nice in a kimono, actually. It's something that I might look out for, a nice pattern. And you know, if they just blob like that and dry like that, if the blobs are small, it might be okay. Because they'll just look like spots, won't they? You know, naturally occurring. spots, so we'll see how it goes. I kind of want to do a decoupage with one of them actually and see how that goes, you know, sticking some tissue paper or something like that on with a bit of glue. So let's get something, a bit of a napkin and see how that is, just a minute. Right friends, so I've managed to get these from a supermarket in England and they're beautiful, aren't they? Look at the pattern on those, all those lovely flowers. So I think what I'm going to do is have a go at decoupaging one of these with the napkin, and it's a very simple process. Now these are 3-ply napkins, so it's a case of trying to get the top layer off the bottom, which is the hardest bit. When you've done that and you pull it off, then you can stick it on something. Right, I've had to rip it at the edge to get it off. It's quite tricky, but it does finally come off after. Alright, so what you do then is just pull a very thin layer off the back. So it's almost like a tissue paper. Very thin now, alright, you can see through it. So what I'm going to do is get some just general PVA glue and make a kind of like a watered down glue. Right guys, so I've got our watered down PVA glue and I've just put a bit of PVA glue on it and then a drop of water, probably about 30% more water to PVA glue, and then mixed it around so it's quite runny but not too runny. And then we're going to rip pieces of the napkin, put the PVA glue on the egg, put some PVA glue around, don't do it all, just a little bit at a time, and then you want to just lay this on and flatten it down. Just be really careful to flatten it down with your fingers. The PVA will come through because it's so thin, so be careful because it will get very delicate and then it'll start to rip. So just be very careful. You can do it with your brush in a bit. Okay, and then we start gluing the rest of it. Adding a bit more tissue paper on. You can overlap it as well. With the back of your brush you can just stick it down. I'm just trying to do it so you can see it on the camera. It's just coming out nice, isn't it? I like that. A little bit more, and I'll just put that on the bottom area there where it's split. And the good thing about tearing it as opposed to cutting it is it seems to just stick down neater and overlap a lot better. It doesn't seem to tear as much if you're doing a smaller piece. You can sort of manipulate it a bit better. This is the time when you damage it, you see, because you're touching it and then it sticks to your fingers, and if you pull it off, it'll come off with your fingers. So sometimes it's best just to leave it a little bit and dry it off in 2 stages. So I'm just going to try and put that at the end. Now then, we can also do it with one of these, even though it's going to be very messy. You know, because this one looks like it's splitting a bit. I don't think that one was a very good successful one. So what we can do is just put tissue paper on the top of the paint. Try that. And then to have the colour underneath as well. So just see if it'll stick on like that. And see how we go. It's all about having a go and see what works, isn't it? Have to be careful because you might get all the paint on the outside. I think I'd rather have it like this than that paint one, because that particular paint is not sticking well. It's one of those really messy, gooey jobs, you know, but it's quite nice, even though it is a bit messy. Just take care, because I say it sticks and then you can rip it very easily. Check all the way around to see if there's any bits that have not been done. Just stick a few more bits on. And that one's it. I've been holding that and I've kind of dragged it with my hand. So easy. So it's lost a bit. So I fear when it sticks, it will probably stick part of it and rip it in a bit, but there's not a lot I can do, but I'll have to just mend that bit. It's going to stick to the surface. I'm loving those now, more so than the painted ones. And I'm tempted to do another one, but I'll hold fire because I've got other ideas to decorate these later on, so I'll just bear with me with that. So I'm going to come back when these are nearly dry and show you the next stage. If you'd like to see my other videos that I've done with the bunny bunting and the lovely stuffed big bunnies, please check back a couple of videos on my playlist. We're also going to hang these on some string from twigs or flowers, and we'll incorporate it with some of the eggs that I bought last year. And these were just polystyrene ones, which have come out nice and look a bit splattered, don't they? So all you do is we would be paint a polystyrene egg shape with any coloured paint of your choice, and then coffee or a bit of brown paint with a toothbrush, put it on and splash it all over so it gets a nice mottled effect. And then you can stick it on cocktail sticks if you want, or leave them, or with some string, glue gun, a loop on the top and then hang them. I've also bought a box of all these little lovely bits and pieces for Easter from the Home Bargain shop, and I'm going to try and incorporate that now in the craft. Right, one of these green ones that it wasn't sticking very well, I've washed off, and I'm going to put the napkin straight on, and I think it might look nice with the pink showing through, so like hopefully a pinkish background. Yeah, that looks nice, I like that. So I'll just decoupage the napkin on again so we get the pretty print on. I really recommend this because it's really pretty. A bit of the pink shining through in a nice way. Right, I'm going to try and put that down now. I'm going to leave those and we'll come back to them shortly. But I'm really pleased with how they're looking so far. Right, so I bought this last year from Hobbycraft. I think they still sell them. And it's like an egg on a hoop, and it's made of cardboard. And I thought I would decoupage that as well, and then put maybe some chickens in and a bit of you know, feathers and things like that to make a little nest. I thought it'd be really pretty to go with this napkin theme again. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did on those eggs. So straight on again with a bit of glue. And with it being cardboard, it's quite a rustic design anyway, isn't it? So you can go anywhere you want. Try and get your ends so that they're quite neat. And it'll dry sort of into the cardboard so that the design will be showing at the end. So just go all the way around and then just flatten it down with your paintbrush. And then let it dry. It looks good, isn't it? Much better than just a plain old piece of cardboard. There's a tiny little bit here. I might just put that little design on the top. I think there. And I'll just get it so it's right on the end. Right, so that's it. Okay, I'm going to let that dry now. And we'll come back to that in a little while. Just check with us. There's a little bit there that's obviously lost its bit of tissue paper, so I'm going to stick that on there. The good thing about these is when they haven't got any design and it's clear on the napkin, the design underneath comes through, so it blends in really, really well. Even if it doesn't look like it will, the original design comes through. But each time you touch it, bits come off, so you have to be very careful. Right guys, we just have to wait for all those to dry now. Right, so while we're waiting for those eggs to dry, we'll start another craft. So what I've done is made a little flower shape and cut it out of cardboard, and then the white felt pads that I got left over from the previous crafts that I bought from Hobbycraft for 50p per sheet. What I've done is I've just cut them out, okay, and I think I've cut 6 or 7 out, and they look a bit like a flower or a daisy or whatever. So I thought what I'd do is, using these sticks, I would stick a bamboo stick on the back of it, and then it can be pushed into something like a little flower pick. We can decorate those as well. So using a hot glue gun and a bamboo skewer. Now you can paint these any colour you want, or just leave them a natural colour. So what you want is your glue stick and a blob of glue in the centre, and then literally just stick your bamboo stick into it, and then it will be attached to the stick. So do that with them all first, and then we'll decorate them. So these are easy, just buy these from Hobbycraft, and I'm using some sticks I had left over, but you can use bamboo or old barbecue sticks, anything that you've got hanging around. And this is a lovely craft to do with the kids as well, and these can just be stuck in a decoration to give it a bit of height as well at the back. Give that a second or two to set, and then we can decorate. Now, as I mentioned before, I got this lovely little set from Home Bargain Shop. Got all sorts in, and I think it's about £2.50 or something silly. And it's got a little, 2 little bunnies in, and some of these faux carrots. I think there's 3, and a little ladybird, and a couple of chicks. 2 big chickens and a little baby one. So I thought that was really good value, but in it they had these, and these are so easy to make anyway, aren't they? So this is replicating what I've just done actually, and it's just a tiny little daisy. Let me try and see if I can, there we are. Okay, so you could cut a little tiny piece of felt out in that shape, and then it's a little tiny pom-pom in yellow. So for that you could use a bit of that pillow fabric, you know what I used on the last video to make my Easter bunnies, and I rolled up that pillow fabric into like a pom-pom, didn't I? So you could use something like that, or if you've got a small, you know, round bead or ball, you could put that in the middle. And I thought actually they would look quite sweet just in the centre a couple of those, you know, that would really bring it to life and pop, wouldn't it? So a little tiny thing in a set has become something a little bit more elaborate and larger. There we go. It's quite nice, isn't it? So I'm going to put a couple of those on. And they look a little bit like a daisy. It's amazing when you start looking in your bits and bobs, what goes with what, and what you can utilise. There we go. Simple little thing. And what I've got is a couple of pots, and what I've done, using my string, I've just glued string all the way around the edge on this one. So you can use whatever string you want. I use my brown twine, but I've also got white twine as well. So I'll show you how I did it. And you start off at the bottom with a bit of a blob of glue. And then it's best to sort of do several blobs of glue on the bottom so it holds well, because that's going to be a base for the string to key to. And then you can sort of intermingle and just put a couple of blobs every so often. But it just gives it a little bit more depth, really. Now, get it right to the bottom at the start, and then just take your string round and round, and every so often just start gluing it on, just so that it gives it something to grip and it doesn't slip. Otherwise all that string will separate and then it'll become loose and just fall off in time. But you see, you get the picture, it starts to roll. And you can actually do it all, or you could do a layer of it and then leave the rest there. So you could do it like that, and then you could do the same as that on the top and leave the middle bit, you know, just all brown if you so wished. And I'm doing different ones because it's nice to have a little bit of colour change, and then it brings everything together. If I just done all the rustic design, then these light colours that I'm using on the eggs might not necessarily have all matched up, so it's nice just to have a bit of white as well. So I'm going to use some white sort of florals to hang the eggs off shortly. So just see what your decoration is. Everyone has different colours, isn't it, what they like in the house. You know, you might have grey, you might have blues, beiges. So just sort of pick the colours to suit your decor. It's amazing with simple things how you can upgrade something to look more high-end. So there's any crafts that you're wanting to know how to do that you could suggest to me that you're interested in? Maybe I can do a video on that. It's nice to know what you're all doing, upcycling anything or crafting, what your latest project is. I'm trying to actively encourage everybody to leave nice comments on what they're doing. People always love to find out what each of us are doing. Right, that last bit, put a little blob of glue to secure it to the edge, and so. And I'll just pull that off at the bottom. So I'll just stick that on at the bottom like so. And if you think there's any kind of looseness, you can always put a blob of glue on. Okay, so we've got another one now all covered. So we've got two now. So I thought with that, these would look quite nice with eggs in. Little tiny eggs and maybe a little chicken and maybe a little flower or something like that. So in one of these boxes here, I've got this, which is really useful. Replicates things out of a nest, doesn't it? So I thought, oh, I'll have that. But there's not enough really. So what I need to do is just put something in the bottom just to bulk it up. So we can use a bit of this cardboard that we've had for painting on, just to lift it up a little bit. It'll just hopefully bulk it up and stop us using as much stuff in as we would have to otherwise. Then we can put this on top. Okay, so right now I've got it just sitting on the top. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a chicken. You can get chickens everywhere. They've got them in the pound shop, they've got them in the range, they've got them in Aldi, Home Bargains. You know, just have a little look. You can buy simple chickens. You can either have these big ones or they've got tiny little ones around, haven't they? Tiny little ones which are really cute. This one's in its own little nest. So we could put this one in here. This is for a baby duck. And then this one, it's a big one. That can be mummy duck. And then we could stick a nice big flower behind. And then we want a few little eggs. Now I've got some eggs. I think these were either Home Bargains or the pound shop, not quite sure. But they were very cheap. They look like little mini eggs, really cute. Put a few of those in. And what we'll do is we'll just put with a glue stick a little blob, and that'll catch that so it stands upright. Because what I don't want is that falling out all the time. And then we'll put some more little eggs in there, maybe just one, because then it will look like this one's cracked open and there's one little egg. What little kids wouldn't love those? So you could do this little craft with your children or your grandchildren, and they'd be really proud of that, wouldn't they? So you just want a little tiny plant pot. You could use like a little tin can, you could use a jam jar or something. You know, egg cups are fabulous. You could upcycle an egg cup. That'd be really good. And make a little bit of a decoration there. Now what I wanted to do is, I've got these, as we said, and what I wanted to do is try and make them a little bit like vintage looking. And maybe put some little flowers on them. And I've got some little flowers that I got from a craft store, I believe, some time ago, and they're just tiny little paper roses. You can see them, and they're really pretty. And I thought actually these would be quite nice stuck on an Easter egg, you know. So I thought I'll try with the glue gun and just stick one of these in the middle and see how it is. Now I thought about maybe also putting a little ribbon around it as well. I think that looks quite nice, very vintagey. I've also got a deep red. I'm wondering if that would go nice with this yellow. It'd certainly go nice on the pink. What I'm also thinking is, I wonder if I've got a bit of ribbon like in this colour that I could go around the middle section of it and then make a loop to hang it. So let's have a little look in my ribbon stash and see what that will give. Okay guys, so I've got some nice possibilities here. I've got the gingham ribbon, which is quite nice, isn't it? Then I have got some dark red ribbon, but I think that's going to be far too thick. I could try and cut it in half, because that's got a nice match. That would look quite nice. And then we have in here some really pleasant glue with little flowers and roses on, which I think are really lovely. So maybe those are the ones that we've painted. That might go well with those in a bit, so we'll bring those out and have a little look. A little bit of pink ribbon here which we can utilise. That'll be handy. And then I've got this really nice bit of lace, but I think that's too big, which is a shame. I think that'd be wasted on that, really. It's a bit too thick. Don't want to cut that one in half. However, we have this one, which is actually a sticky one. And is that a waste? Put that on there? I don't know. Let me show you in a darker colour so you can get an idea. the size. It might be alright actually. It's not going to be a Fabergé egg, but you know, it'll be quite nice to play around with. So shall we try that on there? Have a look. It certainly stands out a little, doesn't it? And what you want to do is have some kind of contrast, that's for sure. So there's that one, or there's a yellow one. So I'm going with the vintage theme on these. So yeah, let's try one of those. So just measure the parameter. You can use any lace, so long as you feel that the size of it will be okay, because obviously some of those what we saw were too deep, weren't they? That's a great thing about, you know, saving all your bits and bobs, because you never know what you're going to do next, and you never know what they can come in for. So I'm going to try and get the centre of it and try my best to keep level as I go around. And this is very useful because, as I said before, it is sticky. So you don't even have to have the glue gun. A bit different, you can see. It certainly makes it look a little bit better. And then you could put something extra. Let's have a little look. I've got a peach flower in here. That might go very nicely. Yeah, that goes lovely. And what I might do is just stick it over the join. So another blob with the glue gun. And then stick it over the join so you don't see anything. And that peach kind of works quite well. Yeah, I like that. There we are. See? Just a case of seeing what goes, what works, and that looks really nice. Why have a plain egg? You know? Why have a plain egg? Right, so we're going to do the pink one now. And that's got a lovely one, so that's another one. I'm liking those little roses, I'm glad I bought those. But I'm wondering about this. I mean, it is a traditional gingham, isn't it? Traditional design for Easter. I'm not quite sure if it actually goes with that pink, with it being a bit lighter, that's all. I don't know if I can get away with that. What do you think, guys? Alright, let me bring you a bit nearer. It's difficult on cameras, isn't it, to see the true colours. I think that's alright. Yeah, let's go for one of these then. So again, this is sticky as well, so I'm doing well on time. So just measure it off so it's going to fit, and then cut it to size. For this one, it's got a bit of a line around, so I'm going to just sort of cover that if I can. And this is sticky as well, and I got these from the range ages ago, and I just thought, how is it? Not wasabi, but there's a name for it. It's called something tape, isn't it? I can't remember now. Washi tape, I think, is it? It's very sticky. I often use it when I'm making my journals and the notepad books to cover the seams. Now the thing with this is, obviously, going round a circle, you've got to make sure the edges are pushed down and not creased. Okay, so that's that one. I might just leave that as is, because I'm loving these ones, I must admit. Yeah, no, I'm liking the ones that are more vintagey. I might go with a few more of these because I'm liking them. The green one, I don't know if the green will work, but it certainly helps it. Just go around and stick it on. A very good price. The range have got some incredible art items, and they are a lot cheaper than the hobby store. So it's worth checking it out if you've got one. If you haven't, and you're going out somewhere for the day, find out if they've got one, because it's worth a trip in. I haven't got one local to me, but I know where they are. But if I do go there, I always make sure that I've got a range visit tied in as well. That's a lot bigger, that flower, than this one. No, it's too big. Oh, I really like those. Yeah, I'm really liking those. They're my favourite so far. And that pink one's just pretty. You could put the lace on that really, but I can't leave it. Just wondering about this one, you see. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's okay? Or would you go with the lace or the plain? Some picks with some little flowers on and eggs, and I'm wondering about just putting it like a little rose bud on it, simple. Stick it behind. See what that looks like. It's like an antenna. Well, that reminds me of like a weevil or something. Oh. No, that's not working, guys. And the thing is, it's okay if you think that's not working. It doesn't matter, does it? It's just a case of, you know what, not really that bothered about that. I think these are all going to be lace jobs. Let's have a look at this one as well, because we did say about that with this, didn't we? See if that'll work. You see, that'll look nice and quite high end. So, this is a ribbon that I got on holiday actually from a charity shop, and they were selling them £2 a roll. And there was quite a lot on. I thought, oh, that's good value. I don't remember what it was now. And I was in Cornwall. Right, guys, so I'm going to go with this one because this is looking good. I'm going to put a blob of glue here and just literally stick it on first, and then we'll go around. Quite tight, guys. And get to the other end. You need to cut it. Stick it with another blob of glue. Blob of glue on the flower, stick it over the seam and push down. And that's that one. And I'm going to use this for some of these. I'm just working out the length that I need, and I think I don't need it as long as that, although I need quite a length to it so that I can hang it from some branches. Use one of these sticks, make a little hole in it, and then we'll put a bit of glue in, and then as quickly as possible try and push it in the hole, and then leave it to dry. Now with these red ones, I'm going to try, if I cut the size of the ribbon that I want and then cut them in half, and hopefully, and she says hopefully, they won't fray. Try and do it as even as you can. I'm literally going to cut this ribbon in half. Right, so again we need to make that hole, so lovely, and then a bit of glue gun in the hole, and as quickly as you can, using the skewer again, push it down into the hole, both of them. Okay, I'll leave those to dry off a bit. If when it's stuck it hasn't attached itself, you can always just another blob of glue on, but hopefully they will have. So I'll just put them to one side at the moment, and then we'll test them out later when everything's dry with any luck. So now we've just got these yellow ones to find a little bit of something to hang them up from. So I need something quite plain really. I mean, I could use string actually, because that would actually go okay. I think I'll use some string with these. What I don't want is to have a huge hole, because you know, it might be noticed, so I'm going to go really carefully and just try and make a little tinier hole. Lovely, and then make a loop again with your string. Get your ends together. We're ready. Glue gun in the hole again. And quickly get these stuffed in with the end of that stick. Hopefully that will work. We've got those. Let's put all our bits and bobs away at the minute. Right away. Right friends, hiya. It's now hugging and mug time. It's cappuccino time, isn't it? You know me, I love my cappuccinos. So I thought I'm just having a little break while we wait for things to dry. That's a problem, isn't it? When you're crafting, you've got that time in between. But you know, hey ho, it's time to have a little coffee. So mine's a Kenko cappuccino mix, which is really nice. And I do like to have one every day. Just have a little sip if you don't mind. So what are you crafting? Are you doing anything this week? Are you getting prepared for Easter? Have you seen anything great in the shops that you would like to share with everybody who's watching the video? There's quite a lot of nice things in the shops. I've not been to every one, but there are little bits and bobs that you can pick up. It's a good price. I saw these and I managed to get 2. There was about 8, and I thought, well, I'm not taking any more than 2 because, you know, everybody will love them, and they were popular last year. I know they were last year's stock, and I didn't get any last year, so I was tempted to get about 5, but I thought, no, it's not fair. Anyway, they're £1.50 each from the pound shop, and I just thought they were so gorgeous, really lovely. I remember seeing them last year, so I'd go out and get 1 or 2 or 3, you know, if you've got plenty in your store. I do believe, because the chap on the till, because I was saying how wonderful they were, and he said, oh gosh, we've hardly had any of these. I said, they were really popular last year. People were talking about them, and as soon as they came in, they'd gone within 24 hours. And they were £1 last year, I think he said, but they're £1.50 this year, but so beautiful. I went in B&M, they had something similar, and they were £3 for the same thing. And I don't think, well, there were different colours. That was yellow and green, but I prefer these pink and blue eggs. They remind me of those Cadbury's mini eggs, and they don't hang around in our house at all. If I buy them, I've got to just stop buying them because I'm as guilty as anybody else. I love those, and I could, you know, quite happily munch through. It's the smell, isn't it? Have you smelt them? They smell so sweet, so enticing. You know, I don't know what they do. They do it on purpose, don't they? Anyway, that's my downfall. I love my sweet things. I know some people say they like the savoury cheese and crackers and things, don't they? We've all got something, haven't we, that we have to have to get us through the days, you know. Anyway, aren't they lovely? Look at them. They're gorgeous. So I'm going to incorporate these in with the decoration that I'm going to do, and they're really jolly it all up, aren't they, and bring it all together, I think. So it's alright, you know, even if you're crafting, you can't make everything. It's alright to buy a few bits and bobs, especially when they're a reasonable price. And these shops have got a lot less in nowadays. You know, the cost of living has risen, hasn't it? So everything you see now has risen as well. So it's about, you know, picking the best what you can see. And these certainly were worth the money. So well done to Pound Shop for bringing something so seasonal and high end, really, you know, because say even in the B&M it was £3. And if you went into a shop you know, that sold pretty things and more high end. They're probably about £8 for one. So I think it's incredible value. Right, so I'm going to put those down, but I want to show you those. So if you go into a pound shop, or you're near a pound shop, and you like that, I'd go down and try and get them. But these look like they have dried. So I'm really pleased with these. Because if you know me, I'm really into vintage items and decorations and old fabrics and things like that. And they've made them like a very modern thing, a little bit more oldie-worldy, like me. So yeah, so that's that. So I'm just waiting. So let's have a look at this now, because this is nearly dried, and this was the one that I got from Hobbycraft, 50p, and I'm really pleased with that. It's drying really nicely. So what we're going to do is crack on and decorate the inside of it. Okay, and while it's drying still on the outside, we can do the inside. Right then, so let us get going with this little egg. So you can imagine what would be inside an egg. It's almost like a birdhouse, isn't it? You know, we could put something inside. So we've got bits of fluff. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit here. That's going to be good. So, using this little box of tricks that I showed you, that I believe I got from Home Bargains. So what I think I'm going to do is have a look at the inside of this and see what fits. So we've got one little chick, and he would fit quite nicely inside. And then there's also this rabbit, which looks nice, but he wouldn't live in there, would he? So it's probably best not to put him in, although I do like him. He's going to be used for something else. So we're going to go with the chick. I think we'll have a little chicken in. So I'm going to use all this lovely fluff, because that looks like it was meant to be in there. So I will clear up and use it all. And tidy up the table at the same time. Stuff that little egg, which I got from Hobbycraft again, by the way. Alright, so I'm sure you'll be able to get these in Hobbycraft now. And if you're not a member of Hobbycraft, if you join and ask for their newsletter and you put your date of birth in, for the last couple of years, near my birthday, they've sent me a £5 gift voucher to use online or in store, which I thought was really lovely, and it encourages you to spend more money. So I always do look online. I'm not going anywhere. As I said before, the range is in a major city. I mean, I could probably get things online from the range, but the mere fact that Hobbycraft's give me a £5 voucher, I tend to give them, when I'm using online, my business over the range. If I'm going somewhere for the day and the range is there, I'll go in and buy stuff from the range. Equally, I will go into Hobbycraft as well. So it is, you know, it is kind of in their interest to do that, because, you know, it does support customer loyalty. Right, so I have stuffed that now in there. I'm not going to stick it in, I'm just going to pop it in there. It's quite okay in there. Quite happy with that, like that. I'm going to put some more Easter eggs in. So we've got all these lovely eggs, haven't we? So I don't know why I cut it up there when it's got a sticker down there. Password answer. Right, I'm going to get pink, blue and a green. And a yellow, one of each. I'd love to get some nice little birds, little like fake birds, and that's something that I bet Hobbycraft will have. Instead of these, I'd like to get some kind of little, tiny little birds. I'm sure they probably have them. So that's something to look out for. Because that would look really high-end, a little bird in here. But I haven't got one, so if you've seen any nice little tiny birds, please let me know where you got them from. I'd really appreciate that. Just going to pop that in there, little chicken. stick him in there. He's a big one, isn't he? And then we'll just poke some little eggs. Whoops. Poke the little eggs in here. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I don't even think I'm going to put that chicken in. I don't think I'm going to put that chicken in actually. I think I'll just leave it like that. So it's like a little nest with some eggs in. And I'll glue gun them on. I'm just literally going to just put a little blob of glue on the egg and then just push it down. And the reason I'm doing that is I've just literally put them in and it fell out on the floor, so it's not going to be something that'll stay in. I'm going to leave it like that, I think. I like how that looks. And if I do find a really pretty tiny little bird, I'll put it on. Right, so I'm going to get everything out now, tidy it up on display tool so you can see what we've made so far. Right guys, what I'm trying to do is I've got a massive big milk jug and I'm just putting some white spring blossom flowers in. Okay, I've got quite a few. I'm just getting them sort of into a nice sort of bouquet shape, like that. And then I'm going to use these picks that I've got and incorporate those in. Now the problem with that is these aren't as long as those, so I'm going to have to try and wedge it in the bottom. So I'm going to try and put something in the bottom just to bulk out these two pigs as well, because I want the height the same. Bear with me. Try and see if I can just put a little bit of cardboard in the middle that they could be slotted into. Because what we're going to try and do is pop them in the middle so that we've got a little bit of Easter amongst this spring look. But I've been selfish and bought plenty more. It would have been better because we only got two. It would have been much better with several of these. I always think 3 is good, but anyway, whatever. Put those like that. Can you see all right? Yeah, lovely. So what we're going to do then now is start to hang these pretty eggs that we have made off the branches. I think what I'll do is I'll do them on the large white ones and then hopefully it'll bring it all together like so. And they'll bob around. Probably when they stop rolling around it'll be back to front, because that's generally speaking what happens, isn't it? But, just hang them around the tree. I tend to try and hang them as high as possible. And try and even them out, the colours, so they're not all the same. Remember, we've got the other eggs that we've decorated that we're going to hang up as well. And this is bringing the colours in then, because you've got all these colours in the eggs on these picks that you've got. So you're trying to incorporate all the other colours into them, aren't you, to make it all match. I think I might make some more of these vintage ones. I'm really loving those, and then add them to the tree as well. And then we can have this nice little decoration that we've made as well. Put it on one of the stronger branches so it holds. It's quite weighty. I've got these decoupage ones now, so I need to put a loop on these, so I'll just glue gun a couple of loops on. I'm going to put some more of this lace around these decoupage ones Just look how that looks. Makes it look lovely, and it's going to tie it all together again, guys, isn't it? Okay then, so what I've done is put that lovely lace round and then just popped string on top and glue gunned it down. So we're going to hang these beautiful eggs up. Do you remember, guys, they were bright plastic earlier on, and with the decoupage beautiful tissue napkin paper, the napkins, we've made them look really high end, haven't we? So we're going to hang these up now. Should leave them a few minutes because it's only just glue gun, put the blob of glue in, but I'll put them up now so that you can see them. If they fall off, then I'll have to secure them a bit better, obviously, but I'll try and take a close-up of it, but forgive me, now I'm not a professional photographer or anything, so sometimes it's a difficult one, isn't it, to see everything close up, etc. Now the last ones are these guys, the ones that were painted, those plastic ones, and they've come up really nice actually. I love the texture of them. If you can see, it almost does look egg-like, doesn't it? You know, from that shiny plastic to sort of how it looks now, it's almost, as I say, it looks like a proper egg. So I'm pleased with that. It's a case of just decorating these quickly now. Right, so what I've got is a bit of fake greenery here, and what I'm going to do is stick it all the way around the perimeter of the egg with a bit of glue gun. I've got a couple of fake little flowers as well, which will go nice on them, I think. So I'll incorporate that as well. Just sticking it all the way around the perimeter. Okay. I'm doing this because it'll tie in with the wreaths and the decoration as well, so it all pulls together. It's great with glue gun because it really is instant and it sticks everything so quickly. You can get hot glue guns and cold glue guns if you haven't got one already. I'm really everywhere. I've got a bit of like raffia. It looks a bit like a nest. So I'm going to put that around as well. Just stick it in to give it a little bit more of a rustic feel. Just go and find this in the woods, a little bit of edges of branches or twigs, and just stick it on. It makes it look a little bit more rustic, isn't it? Quite like that. Some things are what you would call a happy accident. And as you go along you think, oh, I like that, and then you build on it. Not always know exactly what I'm going to do when I set out. I just kind of let inspiration and the mood take me. I think is good. I have an idea, but then you think, oh, you see things, you think, oh, that's working well, and go with that sort of thing. So that's about inspiring each other, isn't it? Like I said before, you might not necessarily like exactly what I've done, but I hope it gives you an idea of that you can actually do something similar, and you get the result that you want with your decoration, etc. think the hardest thing is the glue, you know, because it sticks to your fingers and it sticks everywhere. It's fabulous stuff though. This hot glue gun, it makes craft so instant. Okay, I'm really liking that kind of rustic effect. So I think with that we need to go with a Hessian top as well. So I was thinking about these, you see, cutting these down and sticking them on the side, but when I saw how dainty they looked, I thought, no, I'm going to go with this design. So I need some more. I think we'll go with this sort of Hessian as well again. So I'm going to cut a few lengths, 3 lengths of this. Hope you're enjoying it, guys, and I hope it's inspiring you to do something. Hope the video is not too long. It's nice to take time out and watch something, isn't it? And hopefully make something. Or just sit down, have a bit of time for yourself and have a nice coffee while you watch it. It's a rubbish day, so it's not like I could have a walk in the country today anyway. So perfect day for crafting. I was wondering about taking you with me, you know, doing like a vlog when I go walking on the moors or by the river. If you'd like that incorporated like a daily vlog, let me know in the comments. Right guys, I think that's the last one. So I'm going to tidy up and try and take a picture of it all now for you. Right guys, so I've finished everything and I've hung it up on the tree. I've put out the spring wreath as well on the table, and the stuffed bunnies and the bunny buntings on the wall. So I'll give you sort of like an overall shot of everything. If you want to make any of those spring wreaths and the bunny bunting, you'll see that there's videos on that on my playlist. And thanks so much for watching. Please leave the comments below if you've liked this video, and if you can suggest anything that you'd like me to do for future crafts, please leave a comment, and I hope it's inspired you in some way. And have a great afternoon. Thanks ever so much. See you again. Bye. Right guys, so here we have it. I did actually put a little plant pot and a doily inside one of those plant pots that were made, and those little bunny rabbits inside with the carrots in as a little decoration. And then I've hung all these little eggs up on the tree that we've made together today. I think they've come out really well, haven't they? That was the spring wreath that we did in an earlier video, and one of the stuffed bunnies in another video, and the bunny bunting on the wall behind. These are little daisies that were made earlier on with the bunnies. It's another one of my stuffed bunnies from an earlier video. So I hope you agree. It's looking like a springtime Easter little wonderland, and hope you'll give it a go. Thanks so much for watching. Bye friends.